Hi folks, and welcome to Reread, where I am rereading through the expanded universe in chronological order this time, just to see how it goes. Now, I would never suggest anyone read through it in chronological order unless you've already read through it. I'm testing this out because I've never read through it in chronological order, and I'd like to. Plus, it gives me a second perspective on some of the stories and books and comic books I've already reviewed. Now, I may skip over some short stories, but I'm going to hit every book for sure, and probably every comic book series. Now, today I am going to talk about Into the Void, but I did go back and I did read the short story Eruption from Star Wars Insider 141. Tim Levin doesn't do any of that odd first person, I don't know what you call it, writing in this one, but it's just a short story just to establish the Lannery. I've already forgotten her name. That's how forgettable this character is. But the main character from Into the Void. And I just read this. I just finished it yesterday, and I don't know her name. She's that forgettable. And so I guess just to establish a little bit who they are, I'm not going to really judge this short story for being bad. It's not good either. It's just kind of run-of-the-mill. But getting into the Void, rereading it, it's so sad that, the past is written in that odd, she goes to this place. She talks to him and says, "What are you doing?" He walks up to her and says, I'm thinking, I really don't like that style of writing. That is all in the past. And like I said, one of the things when I first reviewed, I said, I hate that it just kind of changes in between pages, in between paragraphs. And yeah, reading it a second time, you can follow it a lot better, or I could at least, because I know now, I've read it before, so I know now to follow it. I still don't like it. I don't like that style. And it's too bad because I feel like if he would have just kept it in the regular format, it would have been not as bad book. It probably would have been a forgettable book, but not a bad book. I'm still going to place this on something I really don't like. I really don't have any interest. It talks about her and her brother. I do now, rereading it, recall why Into the Void, why it's titled that. Because, of course, that's what her brother is basically doing. He's kind of stayed away from the Force, using the Force. He doesn't want to use it anymore. He doesn't want to use it on a crutch. And it's annoying. In fact, this is a trait that Jason Solo had a long time ago in the books, publication order at least. And you hated it. Like, he wasn't sure. He was shutting himself down from the Force at the beginning of the New Jedi Order. He didn't really use it that much. He had questions about the Force, and he was just annoying for at least that first book. And so, or this 2 books or whatever. But now that you have brother and sister, I think his name is Dahl, and they're on the planet in the past. And of course, she is excelling in her Force studies, but he thinks the Force is a crutch, and he thinks everyone's kind of being possessed by the Force, and he didn't want to do any of that. And I get it. I get the hook. I get why he wouldn't want to use it, but why wouldn't you want to have superpowers? I mean, if you see a dark Jedi and you see what it can turn you into, then yes. You see someone just, cracked out on meth, you're thinking, maybe I shouldn't use this drug. It feels good for a little while, but then I turn into that. So no. So I kind of would see if it was that, maybe he saw someone just go crazy with the dark side and like, nope, I am out. That to me would have made more sense than, I'm not going to use it on a crutch. I'm going to get by on my skill, which is obviously inferior, and they show that during his training. How it's inferior. I mean, he gets the upper hand on a Jedi Master, but in the book without using the Force. But some of the other Jedi think that he let that guy get the best of him. But I think we're supposed to tell that his reflexes are better than a Jedi. I don't know, and that's the thing. It's kind of like, did the Jedi Master allow him to do it? He never says if he does. The sister thinks that he let him, but it seems like he was genuinely surprised by that. So Han Solo could easily take on Luke Skywalker at the height of his power? Is that what you're saying? I don't understand. So I don't believe that Tim Levin really understood Star Wars. I just don't think he got into the expanded universe that much. Like I said, there are no connections. Not that there has to be connections. When you have something in its own era, you're basically starting over in your own new sandbox you created. But again, the titles Ranger and Journeyman and stuff, that's kind of neat. That they're fighting with blades. Again, I really wish we could have seen, this goes for the comic book too, but the Ralph McQuarrie drawing of the backpack charged lightsaber. I think this was the perfect time, since Tales of the Jedi era did not want to do it. I thought it would be perfect that Dawn of the Jedi would do it. And of course they don't. They go for just a Durasteel blade. I guess. But the thing is, though, even without his writing style, let's take his writing style out, it's just boring. It's just boring. You know, like I said, I reread it again. I get where they're going with the brother, and he's trying to find the Infinity Gate, turn it on. Everyone's scared about these Infinity Gates, and he's wanting to enter space. He's kind of gone a little bit crazy. Someone said there was alchemy in it. Yeah, I don't call that alchemy. I don't know if she restructures her body to heal itself. It's almost like Jedi healing. It's like he didn't understand what alchemy was, or if he does, it doesn't make it clear to me in the book that he does. And that's the thing. I think Tim Levin just wrote down a bunch of buzzwords from like a EU dictionary and then wrote his book. I would be interested to see how much advice he took on by Lucasfilm, by any other authors, because it feels like he just tried to do his own thing and wanted, of course he wanted to create something separate. But I think separate from the EU, in fact. I mean, that's why Dawn of the Jedi maybe appealed to him, because there are no rules. You know, this is the world we're creating, and this is what you can do. He's like, okay, great. And I know that he was supposed to make more, and I'm glad he didn't. This era does not interest me at all. And it's a terrible place. I still will double down on this. It's a terrible book to start anyone on. I would never, even if they love the Old Republic, and they'd like to start at the very beginning, I would actually start them on the comic books, you know, Golden Age of the Sith. I'd start them there instead of Dawn of the Jedi. Now, about the comic book, I'll talk about that in another video. See you next time.